Hello, I'm Suzanne Neufung, CEO of the Global Business Travel Association, coming to you live from Toronto at the 2025 GBTA Canada Conference. And here with me today is Glenn Stress, who's VP of B2B Events and Programs at Marriott International. Welcome, Glenn.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So, really important topic, and I know you have an ed session on this too this week. Neurodiversity, what is it and why is it important?
Well, Suzanne, it's such a new concept, but it's been around for a while. The entire concept of neuro-inclusion and neurodivergent community really stems from people that think differently and process information differently. So the examples are people who have ADHD or OCD or autism on the scale, things like that. People who just really think differently and process information differently than the neurotypical people. So it's estimated that 20% of the population globally fall into that category, have some kind of neurological disorder of some capacity, and different levels clearly. But when you think about the scale of how many people that includes, that's massive. And then when you think about like an event like this, so if you are, and quite honestly, 20% a lot of times is fairly conservative because there's a lot of people probably who are undiagnosed. So they're estimating it could be closer to 40. But for an event like this, let's just say for GBTA Canada, let's just say you were going out with 1,000 people that you wanted to go to this conference. Right off the bat, 200 of them are probably in that category. And then research shows that 85% of those people really don't feel comfortable going into an environment where they're overstimulated. So already 170 people of your 1,000 are already right out of the bat, it's a no starter for them. They're not even going to come. So it's really just about welcoming those people in and how we can actually make meetings and events and just life in general more inclusive for that community.
So how does Marriott International approach that inclusivity challenge?
Yeah, so great question, because in reality, we have over 9,000 hotels. So we can't go and retrofit our physical structures and do all these things and move walls and knock down the buildings and create new ones. But what we decided to do 2 years ago was to just take a baby step and just really kind of like, how do we get into this space? So we just decided to focus on meetings and events because that's kind of our wheelhouse. And we just said, okay, what if we can make life a little easier for that community when they go to our meetings and events? So we came out publicly and said for all meetings and events that Marriott hosts, which are either our corporate events or our large internal events, we are going to put a stake in the ground and focus on 4 key areas. The first one is to create a quiet room for people to step out if they're overstimulated. Second one is to create neuro-inclusive resources that are at registration for people just to go ahead and take a squishy toy or a fidget spinner, things like that, which is also a visual clue that people are accepted and that that's a welcoming environment. The third thing is for main stage, we decided to do auto captioning for all of our presentations. And then the fourth thing is we develop communication plan. We get the information out early to those people so that then they know that this is an inclusive environment that they may be more comfortable attending.
So they're more comfortable even before they come.
Exactly.
Oh, those are great ideas.
Yeah.
Certainly, as I think about the broader travel industry, there's some things we can learn here. What do you think we could do better?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just such an evolving area. There's areas that we're not really focused on right now. They're too large infrastructurally, which is I think really the concept here is just do what you can to really make a baby step and kind of do what's controllable within your own kind of wheelhouse to a certain extent. I think for how it's bleeding into the larger population of travel is interesting because it's not just travel per se that's approaching this. I'm seeing there are quiet rooms in airports and malls and things like that, other places that are overstimulating. And then also even like any TV or streaming service now has the captions that are fairly easy to add. So it's really impacting a lot of different areas within our normal everyday life. And it's really, coming to fruition for that. And I think the part that sums it all up is that there's something called the cut curb effect. And this was a concept that back in the 70s, a lot of municipalities started literally cutting into curbs to make ramps. And they basically would kind of make sure that these that ramps are there for people in wheelchairs. But what wound up happening was they designed it for wheelchairs, but in reality, it also impacts the parent with a stroller, the mailman bringing your mail, and even people, road warriors like us, who are going through airports with a carry-on or a baggage in tow. So we're all using it. So the concept here is that when you design for people with disabilities, everyone
You're helping everyone.
succeeds. Yeah, everyone helps.
Well, words to live by. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you so much,
And I
Suzanne.
look forward to your Ed session tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm Suzanne Neufang, CEO of the Global Business Travel Association, coming to you live from Toronto at the 2025 GBTA Canada Conference.